everybody. So I just got back today from seeing Jurassic World, and if you didn't get a chance to see my video about the films of Steven Spielberg, definitely check that out. I had a lot of fun with that one, and I think the Jurassic Park is one of his most fun blockbuster movies. It's very, very satisfying in the pacing, and I love the Jeff Goldblum character because a lot of he's the moral compass of the story, and it was just so new. And it's actually, believe it or not, the movie that I have seen in the theaters the most in my life. I think I saw it 6 times when it came out. And I saw Jurassic Park 2 and 3, and I didn't really care for both of those very much, especially 3, which is so silly. And in one of my reservations in going to Jurassic World was, how are they going to make me believe that after everything that's happened in 1, 2, and 3, that anyone would go back to that island at all, let alone it actually be functioning as a park. And I must say, I didn't really feel like they resolved a lot of those concerns, because I still felt like there's just no way that anybody, especially go all the way down to Costa Rica, I just don't believe that anybody would go to this park, and especially after the San Diego instances in 2, that because if you think about it, yes, it's 20 years since the original movie, but supposedly the park's been open for 10 years. That means, I don't know when 2 and 3 happened, but even if they didn't happen, that means pretty quickly on, after the events of the first and second, after San Diego, that they were out building this park pretty quickly on, because it takes a long time to build a park like they have. And it doesn't make sense. So that still bugged me, but okay, I'm going to put all that aside. And there's lots of links to all 3 movies within the Jurassic World, which was fun, but also kind of frustrating because I didn't feel like I had those questions answered. So in some ways I wish they had just done their own. This is a totally different movie, and it's not really connected to the old ones. We even get B.D. Wong, who's in the original, and he's back as a scientist. So that was kind of fun. Back as the same scientist that he was in the first one. And in this one, we have this functioning park, and it's basically run by Bryce Dallas Howard. And her name is Claire, and she's this very, very stereotypical Hollywood working woman who, it's like in Hollywood, if they're a career woman, it means they don't like children, and they're kind of ice queens. And she's sort of like that. She's stuffy, and she, stuck to her job and everything, and she doesn't care about the animals, she doesn't care about the dinosaurs, she just cares about numbers and data and stats and everything. And I did not find her character compelling or interesting or fun at all. And so she was a big miss for me, and she's really the only female character in the movie, so that was a problem for me. But anyway, her nephews come to visit the park, and of course she, hands them off to someone else. They've genetically designed this mutant dinosaur because evidently people aren't happy with the T-Rex anymore. That's not dangerous enough, which I find really, really ridiculous, because if you think about it, people still love Shark Week. It's it gets huge numbers. People love sharks, and those haven't changed. It's not like people are out dying for the more dangerous crocodiles or the more dangerous sharks. So I think it's ridiculous that people come to see Shamu every year, and people love it's not like when you go to an amusement park, you're like, boy, this year I see the same thing as last year. Most people, they go once, twice, especially if it's in Costa Rica. But again, I'm probably overthinking it. But so they decide to build this mutant, and it's kind of one of those horror movies where every single turn the characters make the wrong choice, and they make the stupid decision. And that's basically the Bryce Dallas Howard, Claire, continually makes the stupid choice every single time. Pratt plays this doctor, this trainer, who has managed to be able to train the raptors that we saw in the original one. He's been able to train 4 to be able to listen to him, and he of course thinks this mutant T-Rex is a terrible mutant dinosaur is a terrible idea, but nobody will listen to him, of course. And of course it gets out, this dinosaur, and it's like extra smart and extra. And so like the fun part of the movie, the part I enjoyed, is sort of the cat and mouse between this dinosaur and the people. And, you know, it was sort of fun and exciting. And there's some ridiculous scenes, like this scene with Bryce Dallas Howard, with Claire. There's the scene with Claire, and she lets the T-Rex out, and she's literally like running in high heels. It was really ridiculous. But I really thought Chris Pratt was great. He's so like charismatic and fun and hunky, and so he was great. And I really thought he kind of saved the movie. I really missed a Jeff Goldblum character. There was this one guy, this comic relief guy, but he was just in it far too little. You really missed that moral center that Jeff Goldblum kind of provided for the original and for The Lost World. And but as far as like for a cat and mouse kind of chase that had some pretty good jumps, had some pretty good scares, that isn't too scary for me, because I don't like scary movies, and it's not too scary for like little kids, I don't think, and doesn't have really any, you know, major objectionable content as far as language and nudity or anything like that. And there's another ridiculous scene where he's like, "Are you gonna wear that?" And so the Claire character, her definition of toughening up is to unbutton her shirt and have her tank top showing, and rolling up her sleeves. But whatever, you know, I liked the back and forth between the dinosaurs and the humans enough to find it entertaining and to, you know, moderately enjoy myself. It has tons of problems, and I thought that the ending was a little frustrating because it was so dark that I couldn't really tell which animals were which and who was fighting and what was going on. So that was a little frustrating. I think they used music really poorly. That, you know, got this iconic theme, and I understand that John Williams isn't the composer. It was sort of an homage to John Williams, but I didn't think it was very effective in creating tone and momentum and excitement, and, you know, like the original did. And you know, in the first one, it asks a lot of questions, whereas this, it's just one of those movies where it's like greed is bad, and then there's also just this really obnoxious subplot about these military guys. Vincent D'Onofrio was the actor, and I thought he was really bad, and I just wanted them to get off screen every time. That he wants to take the T-Rex and like use it in battle, and take the raptors and use it in battle, which I just thought was so insane. And it just wasn't done convincingly that you believed that this person really exists. He was just such an obvious bad guy, an obvious doofus, and so I thought, oh, get rid of it, get back to the dinosaur. And luckily, there's a lot of this movie that's the dinosaur and the people and the chasing and everything. So that part was fun, and I did enjoy it. And I know maybe it sounds like I didn't like the movie, but I was entertained by it, and I did think it was a fun popcorn movie that you could take the whole family with and have some scares. But it definitely has lots of problems, and isn't one that I loved by any stretch of the imagination. So I ended up giving a C on my blog, so you want to check out my blog for even more analysis, and I hope that you're all having a great day, and let me know what you thought of Jurassic World. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I could totally see both sides. Or were you just like me, that you thought it was entertaining and silly and goofy, and but it's better than 3, I'll tell you that. So let me know what you think, and please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.